Okay, it's the next day. Is it the next day? No, it's 2 days later. We built the rear axle. What I did do off camera is I changed the direction of the screw head and the nut. Otherwise you're going to see the crosshead at the back of the truck, on the back of the forklift, and I just think it looks better to see the nut instead of the crosshead. Just a small thing, but that's that's what I changed on that. So that's all built up. Then the next parts are stage 4, 5, 6, 7. That's building the steering axle. Sorry, I said this is the rear axle. Well, actually it's the front axle, of course. It's the drive axle, and the rear axle is the steering axle, which is what I'm going to be building now. I sorted all the parts out of the box. I said before, that's the thing that takes the most time, getting all the bits out. All the parts are nicely put in bags with labels on, so you can get them. They're clearly visible. It's just a little bit difficult when you've got so many little bags in one big bag to find the right part number. So this is the steering axle, rear steering axle. The servo's already fitted. This is also metal. Not much about. Oh, it is on. It's a digital. I don't know if that will show up on the camera or not. But it's a Lesu digital servo. There's no more information on it than that, so I don't know what its torque rating is or anything like that. There's no significant movement in the axles. So that's that, and the only part on part 4 is we need to have 2 little rubber stops, and I did have to really rummage through all the bags to find these, because although they're all numbered and lettered, so like A, 1, 2, 3, 4, of B, of C, of D, 3, 4, they're not, all the 8 parts are not all in the same big bag, so you do have to look around to see where they are. These are just small little rubber bushings, and they have to be put into here, which is a really simple step. Even I can't get that one wrong. Famous last words, of course, but anyway. So those are put into here, 2 rubber stops. Not sure what the function is yet, but I'm sure we'll find out as we go along. Then part 5, we need a pin, which is part A8. Small pin with a notch for an E-clip. I know they're called different things all around the world: circlips, E-clips, E-rings, and I'm sure a lot of model makers who have used them agree that they're a bit fiddly to get on. Then we also need part A9 and 2 of those. That's 2 little holders. Those are metal too. I'm going to be keeping all of the little that things have come in, you never know when you're going to need them for something else, and it'd be a shame to just throw them away. Try and think a little bit about recycling. And the first bearings of the kit. These are no part number, just size 7.1 by 3 by 2.6. The part number in the manual is MF63-2RS, but I couldn't find that anywhere on sticker, so that makes it a little bit difficult finding them. You have to read, you have to go through the measurements that are printed onto the box, but you can see they're just small flanged bearings, and these get put into part A9 and they fit very nicely indeed. So there's one completed piece, 2 bearings, flanges on the outside of both of them, and then we'll just put this one together quickly. This one together. Then we need to make sure we get this the right way around. Okay, so we've got our rear steering axle. One of the built parts, the A9 configuration, goes on there. That goes through the rear axle, and then the other part gets put on there, and then we need an E-ring to go into there, and some people just click them in. This is the part where I think, am I going to lose one? Because these are very not the smallest ones I found in the kit. These are 2mm E-rings. So I only need one of those. I think I got a good deal on that one. It says on the label 3 pieces, 2mm. I got 4. No one tell Lesu. And then I've got this tool from Dynamite. It's relatively speaking, it's not very cheap, but it's a tool to put on E-clips. I haven't used it much, but the few times I have used it, it has worked quite well. You put your E-clip in. He says, should have tried this one before I put it on film, really, shouldn't I? Anyway, you're seeing it live on YouTube. Your E-clip fits in there, and this is just a little bit bigger than the diameter of the, oh sorry, it's a little bit smaller than the diameter of the E-ring, but because of the groove in there, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little groove. That groove opens up when you push it over the part, and the idea is that it clicks on. So let's see if I don't lose one of these. Maybe that was the idea behind Lesu giving me an extra one. They thought, you know, someone's going to lose one of those. No, look, as simple as that. Clicks in, and it's on there. No need to mess around with a screwdriver or pliers or whatever to put it on. It's on. So this, I'm imagining, is going to be the mechanism that allows it to tilt left and right. So that was a pretty painless part 4 and 5. Part 6 in 7 are pretty much the same as the parts on the other axle. Putting the wheels on and attaching the wheel adapters. The wheel adapters on this one are a little bit different than on the front axle. Shall we see how much these weigh? Just to give an idea. Exactly 105 grams, that one. See if the other one's exactly 105 grams. That'd be... No, the other one's 105 point... No, 105 grams. So, both of them 105 grams. So on top of the 600 something grams on the other one, we're going towards a kilo with just the axles. Okay, let's see which part of these did I need. I need B4. 2 pieces. And then I need the M2 by 12 screws. I didn't put those away from the other axle build, so those are all available. And I need 20 of them. I had 20 on the other one, so that should be an empty bag at the end of this. Let's get my electric screwdriver, and then I'll just fit these and fast forward when I'm done. Two of those and 2 screws over, so I'll keep those. Anything in this kit that's going to be over, I'm just going to keep in a separate box whenever I go anywhere. Then I'll have some screws by me if you never know they're needed. So that's part 6 and 7 done, and yeah, the wheels they say to assemble them, but at least Lesu have done that for me. Then we'll go to part 8, and I haven't got the bits out for those yet, so I'm just going to get those ready. Okay, I've got the extra parts out for stage 8. And then we just need to assemble the wheels to be able to put them onto the axle. So there are 4 bearings, 11mm by 5mm by 4mm. And they go, first there's one of those on there. Then there's the flange that we assembled with the screws are in and the bolts. So one of those on each end, and then there's another bearing. I'll just build it on this side in front of the camera, and I can get it done on the other side so I don't have to show every step on the other side. So there's a bearing, another bearing that goes in there. Should go in there. Yeah, there it goes. Nicely fit. Spins freely. Then we need a little washer, part B7. One of those goes on each side. That's a 7 by 2.1 by 0.5 washer, which goes on there. Then a little M2 locking flange nut, which we need to get onto there, like that. See if I can get that tightened up with my Tamiya tool. But it needs to be tight but free. So it needs to, you really do need to adjust this a little. There it goes. So it spins freely, but it's not coming loose. So I'm going to tighten it up a 1/8 of a 1/16 of a turn maybe each time. Yeah, that's just a little bit too much. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So that spins nice and freely with not much play in there. Other side, the washer, or the first the bearing, then the washer, then the M2 nut, and we'll tighten this one up as well. Until it's snug but doesn't impede the movement. And it's a little bit too tight now. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's those done, and then we need to put the wheels on, and it's just a question of putting on the nuts again. What I'm going to do is just put 2 on each side to fix them. Oh no, that's the same mistake that I made before. Don't forget to put on the other bits. Part B6, the wheel hub, that needs to go on now. Before you put the wheel on, then the wheel goes on, and then the nuts. I have to say I quite like the silver and black for the wheels. Not sure if it'll go in my colour scheme yet, but it's a possibility. So like I said, I'll just put a couple of these nuts quickly on, and then I'm going to also test the servo before I build it, or build it into the model onto the next stage, just to make sure it does work before everything's put in and I discover that the servo's broken or something like that. Wheels are on the rear axle, both spin nicely. I'll just get my servo tester connected. If I've got the right cable here. Yeah, there we go. The system runs on a 3S LiPo battery, so 12 volts, but I'm just going to test the servo at 6 volts because my servo tester only goes up to 6 volts, and I just need to make sure it works, not actually do anything with it. I'm just checking that it does what it's meant to. So that one goes onto there. We need some positive. You can see it works. It'll need some tuning when it goes into the model itself. I'm hoping I can slow down the. No, don't know if it needs to be slowed down, but the amount of throw I'll probably change. It's got a nice degree of throw. I think, yeah, no, that's all alright. Only thing, like I said, I only wanted to make sure it didn't, it wasn't broken, and that it worked. So that's fine. So we've got a rear axle and a front axle.